This is something that absolutely needs to be said about Warframe. It's been said a ton, but I personally have never said it, and it just came up recently. And that is the fact that Warframe has the best community around it, and to be quite honest with you, amazing developers as well. Even if you don't like all the story decisions, even if they do retcon things every once in a while, even if everything isn't always perfect, we have to sit here and admire how good the Warframe community is and how good the developers are to that community. It's absolutely amazing, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because of the new modding quest called The Teacher that is going to be released this fall.
And we are proud to announce that in the unannounced fall 2025 update, for the first time in Warframe history, we are doing a mod quest to teach you how to mod. So not only that, this will properly integrate Teshin into the lore with cinematics and everything that you would hope, and it's going to be something that comes right after Vor's Prize. So if you're a new player and you just don't understand modding, we have a new quest called The Teacher. It will be launching in the unannounced fall update, and our friends at Sumo, who we've worked with for years now, we had to outsource this because we couldn't figure it out.
This modding quest has apparently been in the works since 2016, which is absolutely insane. And as many of you know, it's very difficult for new players to get into Warframe and understand the stats and understand the modding scene. Even me, a veteran player who's played thousands of hours, I'm not super good with the modding. I just kind of throw shit on there and I'm like, whatever, I hope it works out. And usually it does because the game's not that hard. But at the same time, there is some skill bumps earlier in the game that new players might not, have fun with if they don't understand how to mod. And the fact that Digital Extremes is making content for new players 13 years after the game originally released in early access is absolutely insane. And it's so good for the health of the game, which is why I want to make this video praising the devs. They're releasing a quest called The Teaching that's going to allow new players to learn how to mod. It takes place after the Vor's Prize quest, which is very early in the game, and it's going to have Teshin actually teaching them how to mod correctly and teaching them, with a narrative way, with a story behind it, how to improve as players. This is something the game desperately needs, since Warframe has not a terrible time, but does have a difficult time with new player retention. And of course, if you can retain new players, that means the game is going to live longer, last longer, be more successful, receive more updates, and all these different things. So the devs looking out for these new players is very beneficial to the community as a whole. And I just want to talk about how amazing it is the devs are doing this and actually releasing new content directly aimed at just new players 13 years after the game started. If you go to different games, if you go to different MMOs, any MMO, when do you ever see that? I have literally never seen an MMO develop important beginner stories for new players after 13 years of being in development. It's absolutely insane. And it's not just like, RuneScape is an example of this. For new players, they'll just throw in a, hey, here's 50 different menus you have to read. Here's 50 different screens you have to read. If you read everything, all 5 essays of words that we throw at you, then you'll know what you're doing. And that's what my experience with RuneScape was when I first played it. But when you come to something like Warframe, that's what it really was originally. You had to ask for help. You had to, how do these mods work? You had to experiment, and it kind of took a long time to get used to it. But now they're adding something to be like, hey, new players, this is a fun, interactive quest with cinematic cutscenes that's going to show you how to be a better player. It's not just throwing a screen at you, a wall of text at you, saying, hey, learn how to become a better player. This is saying, hey, we're going to show you how. It's going to be fun. It's going to be narratively important. It's going to have an important character involved that's important down the line in the game. It's going to make you even more connected to him and make Teshin an even more important character for new players down the road. Which is something we need to talk about as well. They are making Teshin even more important, so new players will have a better experience with him down the road. Because to us, old players, when I first met Teshin, I didn't really care about him in the game. When things happened to him, I didn't give a shit. But now they're introducing players to him as a teacher. That means he's going to be that much more important down the road in the story. And it's honestly just awesome. I just wanted to talk about how cool this is. I know I'm kind of like rambling a little bit, but it's just unheard of. As I've already said, for a game this old to care about new players. And the reason they are allowed to care about new players, and the reason they're allowed to make these quests for new players, is because how amazing the Warframe community is. When they announced this quest at the TennoCon 2025, there was cheers in the crowd for a quest that no one there needed, that no one there is going to even be interested in for the most part. This is a quest that is purely for new players, or players that are like mid-game that are having issues with the scaling. And people were cheering loudly. It's absolutely insane, and it's a huge thing. And it also goes to show that almost the weight has been lifted, let's be honest, off the Warframe community's back, because the people responsible for getting new players into the game and helping new players get over the learning curve for the past 10 years has actually been veteran players that would guide new players and let them know how to mod. Almost everyone that's played Warframe and has gotten far into the game has an experience where they're like, yes, I talked to this veteran player in the community and they helped me progress the story. They helped me progress with my modding. They helped me make the right decisions when it came to my equipment. So it's actually insane that this is kind of, funnily enough, them adding this new modding quest to Warframe will take some of the pressure off veteran players who are so helpful towards newer players, which is something I also want to talk about as well. Because old players in Warframe, the veteran players, or even players that haven't played as long but like mid-game players, have always been extremely helpful to everyone. Warframe has one of the healthiest, most friendly communities in MMO, if you consider it an MMO, in like mass gaming history, mass online gaming history. There has never been a community as friendly as Warframe and as eager to help others as Warframe. It is absolutely insane. Yes, you have some smartasses. Yes, you have some people that are kind of strange in the community. But for the most part, it is one of the healthiest, nicest communities when you compare it to other major games. When you look at COD's community, it's terrible. When you look at RuneScape's community, they have like, there's a lot of good people in RuneScape community, don't get me wrong. But there's also a lot of people that's like literally scouting new players to scam them and take all of their loot. It's a common practice. When you look at like the Dead by Daylight community, don't look at it. It's the worst community I've ever even like walked into. That game's fun as hell, but the community is literally evil. So it's just insane to, think about how healthy this community is. And because this community is so good and so friendly and so helpful to new players, it actually inspires and allows Digital Extremes to develop updates and quests that are directly beneficial to new players, which in turn will create more long-time new players of Warframe, which in turn makes Warframe last longer as a game because it keeps getting new players, which in turn allows more and better story updates for older players who want to know how the story ends and what's going on in the system. So this is like a super healthy ecosystem where new players encourage DE to create content for new players, or veteran players encourage DE to make content for new players. So DE then makes content for those new players. Those new players keep playing because of the good new player experience, which allows DE to have more time to create better quests down the road for the veteran players, who then continue. It's just a super healthy, amazing cycle. Now, we don't know a ton about this quest, besides there will be cinematic cutscenes. It's called The Teacher. It will be released this autumn. It will take place after Voice Prize, and that Teshin will be the narrator, like the guy, the main theme of it will be Teshin running the show. We also know that this is actually a quest not directly developed by Digital Extremes, but was actually co-developed by a company called Sumo Digital, which is also owned by Tencent, which is probably how they got the connection going on there. But it's co-owned by Sumo Digital, and this is now I'm going to get into maybe a little bit more worrisome parts of this quest, because so far it's just been straight praise. But Sumo Digital is a company that's most popular games are Little Big Planet 3, Team Sonic Racing. They co-developed one of the Hitman games, and they helped develop various different Call of Duty games. They aren't considered official developers, but they were part of the development. These are a very strange combination of games to suddenly begin development on a Warframe quest. And from what I can tell, they are the primary developers of the quest, even though it is co-developed obviously by Digital Extremes as well. So that, I'm not sure what's going on there, like what part they played. Maybe they just made the cinematics. I hope they probably didn't write it at all, you'd think, but who knows? It's just strange that we're getting someone whose most impressive game is Little Big Planet 3, which I'm not saying is a bad game, but just it's not really the type of game that's similar to a Warframe in the absolute slightest at all. But hey, we'll see how they do. And I'm not saying to be worried about it. I'm just saying it's strange that this is the company they bring in to help with the quest. But it's also a good sign if this goes well. Let's say Sumo Digital knocks it out of the park and makes a really solid first new quest for players. This probably means there's going to be even more content targeted towards new players, probably mostly developed by Sumo Digital in the future. So this could even increase the new player experience further and take that workload off of Digital Extremes so they can focus on the in-game story content and new weapons and new Warframes, the stuff us veteran players will really enjoy, and maybe offload a lot of this work to Sumo Digital, who will focus on the new player experience. So if this quest goes well, it could be an absolute game changer for Digital Extremes and Warframe, and really increase the speed that they can put out content and bring the game like into 2026 and in the future. There's a lot of things in the game that need updated and fixed still, or Kuva Lix needs some love done to him. Sisters of Parvos needs some love done to him. There's some certain boss fights like Kella Dethane that could use some love as well. So, if we get another company in here that can make good quests, if this goes well, the teacher quest, if Sumo Digital knocks it out of the park, who's to say that they're not going to be in charge of, remastering some of the older things in the game and adding some small content? It could really improve Warframe a ton. So I am a little bit worried about having someone else come in here and work on this. But at the same time, if it goes well, it could mean really, really good things for the future of Warframe. But that's all I have to say about today, honestly. Also, something else I wanted to bring up, just to continue talking about how amazing the Warframe community is a few days ago I had a question I asked in chat. I don't know what it was. I may have asked if a certain Warframe was vaulted or not, because I was too lazy to look it up. And I kid you not, after asking my question, within 1 minute, 5 different people from general chat DM'd me, giving me an answer. It's insane how helpful and friendly the Warframe community is. It's unlike any other community in all of gaming, and I'm a part of it, so I'm kind of glazing myself here, but I'm also glazing all of you, so shut up. We're all getting love here right now. But yeah, and also my hope is that for this next new update, I hope DE really pushes their promotional schemes. I hope they have commercials and shit, or run some ads, maybe even pay some YouTubers to play their game, because they have been doing that in the past, especially these Destiny 2 YouTubers. They'll pay them to play Warframe. But I hope they do that pretty hardcore coming up soon, because what would be a better time to do it to get new players than when you're introducing the best new player experience that you've ever had before. Anyway, that's all I really have for this video, guys. I just want to talk about the community some, this new modding quest a little bit, and really give a shout out to us, the community, and also a shout out to the developers of Warframe who are doing everything right to keep this game alive for 10 more years. Thank you all for watching. Stay blessed, stay happy. Also, shout out to my members, Panagoides, Jay, and Signup King 5000. Thank you guys for helping the channel monetarily. It helps a ton. It helps me put out videos like this, and of course my more scripted, detailed videos, which I also release usually. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay blessed, stay happy. Hope to see you guys in the next one, and let me know what you're most excited for in the upcoming Warframe updates. Goodbye.